It's a cool, crisp day. It's May 1st, and it's Vermont Day. The Green Mountain State is celebrated at Fenway Park. Red Sox and Mariners coming up next. It is clear but cool, but from Fenway Park, day baseball, Seattle Mariners and the Boston Red Sox in Game 3 of the three-game series. Hi again, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, and today joined by Hall of Famer Peter Gammons, the Red Sox dropping the first two games of the series and having to go up against Felix Hernandez to try to grab game number 3.
Well, he's, in my mind, the best pitcher in the American League. 25 years old. Cy Young Award winner, second in the Cy Young 2 years ago. Really tough to hit. I mean, his stuff is so good. Fastball, curveball, changeup, slider. He's got everything, and he has a lot of fun doing it.
Felix Hernandez, who has been so good for so long, and the Red Sox today just trying to get that last game of the series as the Red Sox and Mariners wrap up the series today. Red Sox having trouble scoring runs, and the tall task is in front of them now. On the mound today for the Red Sox, the knuckleballer with a spot start today, Tim Wakefield, starting for the first time this year. We're back with the first pitch after this. AT, your New England Subaru dealer, Dunkin' Donuts, and by Southwest Airlines. It is a cool, crisp day in Boston today, but lots of sunshine as the Red Sox and Seattle Mariners wrap up this three-game series. Day baseball from Fenway Park as Ichiro Suzuki stands in to get it started for the Mariners. Wrap up their six-game, six-day road trip here today. And the first pitch of the ball game from Wakefield drops in there for strike one. Tim Wakefield making his first start of 2011. There's a fly ball to the left. Right at Carl Crawford, who's in a step two. Make the catch route number one. In his junior announcer day at Fenway Park, here's the Mariners starting 9.
Thanks, Don. Hi, I'm Ryan Parker of Jamaica Plain. Leading off for the Mariners, the right fielder, Mr. Ichiro Suzuki. At third base, Mr. Sean Figgins. The left fielder, Mr. Ryan Langerhans. The catcher, Mr. Miguel Oliva. At first base, Mr. Justin Smoke. The DH, Mr. Jack Cust. At shortstop, Mr. Luis Rodriguez. In center field, Mr. Michael Saunders. And batting ninth, the second baseman, Mr. Jack Wilson.
Nice job, Ryan. Here's a pop-up off third base. Lowry shading his eyes, and that ended up about 3 rows in the seats. As Lowry making his way down from third base, really scuffling with the sun. And Jared Saltalamacchia also giving chase, but it's back into the crowd. Tim Wakefield getting the start today. His 8th overall appearance of the year, but his first start. 5.56 ERA, and for Wake, a lot of the games coming up in a mop-up roll out of the Red Sox bullpen so far this season. Another fly ball out to left field, and Crawford this time on the run makes the grab. 2 down. Take a look at the defense brought to you by Jordan's Furniture. Third to first, Lowry, Scudero, Pedroia, and Gonzalez. Left to right in the outfield, Crawford, Jacoby Ellsbury, and J.D. Drew around and right. Batter remains Saltalamacchia, who caught last night's game, back in there again today to catch the knuckleballer Tim Wakefield. Todd Titchener has the home plate duties today with the crew chief Jerry Davis at first base. Sam Holbrook is at second base, and Greg Gibson is at third. It's our pleasure to have along with us today Hall of Famer Peter Gammons alongside for the second game in the last 3 days. This one is grounded foul. You've been a busy man.
It's interesting to see, because Wakefield's been so good early in the season with the cold weather traditionally. And, you know, he can go a month and then come out to pitch. I mean, he has been so versatile for this team as closer, middleman, starter.
There's a fly ball out to right center. Looks like it's going to be a 3 fly ball out first inning and an 8 pitch inning for Tim Wakefield. Nice start. Red Sox are coming up. Chevy dealers on Junior Announcer Day.
Thanks, Don. Hi, I'm Cameron Parker of Jamaica Plain. Leading off for the Red Sox, the center fielder, Mr. Jacoby Ellsbury. At second base, Mr. Dustin Pedroia. The first baseman, Mr. Adrian Gonzalez. The DH, Mr. David Ortiz. In right field, Mr. J.D. Drew. At third base, Mr. Jed Lowry. Shortstop, Mr. Marcos Scudero. In left field, Mr. Colin Crawford. In batting ninth, the catcher, Mr. Jared Saltalamacchia.
Nice job, Cameron. Well, Felix Hernandez on the mound today for the Mariners. His 7th start of the year. He's 3-2 with a 3.32 ERA. His 35 Ks and 40 2/3 and a victory. Last time out against the Tigers in a 6-inning effort. 3 runs, 2 of them were earned. Ready to work to Jacoby Ellsbury. And he takes strike 1.
We did get the joyous news right before the game that Jared Weaver's had to be scratched from his start in Tampa Bay because of stomach flu. So it's Felix Hernandez today, Jarrett Weaver tomorrow night, and Danny Herron on Tuesday night.
It just doesn't get any easier for the Red Sox. We have dropped the first 2 games of this series against the Mariners, and now the tall task today of dealing with King Felix, and then, as you mentioned, Jared Weaver tomorrow night, Herron on Tuesday. It just gets tougher and tougher. And right now, Terry Francona could use some timely hits. Last night 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. What was a very frustrating affair. Swing and a miss. Hernandez makes quick work of Ellsbury, 1 down. Changing up on him here.
They set him up looking fastball, changeup. Talking to hitters about it, I mean, going through, Mike Cameron, for one, has had pretty good success against him, but Mike was saying how he's evolved from being power, fastball, slider, split, to now he'll change speeds more. He's got a pretty good changeup. He's got a curveball. But Mike had a great thing. He said, as did a lot of other hitters, power pitchers always go back to their power at one time or another. So you better look fastball and try to work off the rest.
You know, it's amazing how some guys change because they have to, because they're getting older in their careers. Maybe they're injured or something, but he made those changes without any of that taking place.
Absolutely. I remember that day against Daisuke here when it was about 12 degrees in this ballpark. It was one of the most dominant games I've ever seen pitched at Fenway Park, and he was just absolute gas down in the strike zone that day, but he's learned to pitch. It's a remarkable thing what he's done in his evolution over a very short career.
There have been rumors from time to time, and you know, I guess you'd probably be in touch as anybody as far as whether these rumors were real or not. You think there was interest at one point by the Red Sox in Felix Hernandez?
No question. I don't know what the package was, but I know they did. When they got Victor Martinez, they had been talking about a package of Victor Martinez and Cliff Lee, and they were talking about Felix Hernandez, and they went all out. They gave him a list of 5, 6, 7 players, and it didn't work out. And there still are rumors. Well, Seattle got off to a bad start. They're going to trade Felix Hernandez. And Jack Zarensky, their general manager, talked to a couple of weeks ago. He said, Peter, can I make one thing very clear? We're not trading this guy. We have him on a good contract. You've got him and Pineda for the next 5 years.
And Pedroia opposite field base hit. And Dustin needed that. It's been a struggle the last couple of days for Pedroia. He was 3 for his last 32 over the last 8 games. But base hit here with 1 down in the first inning.
There's someone looking fastball, just trying to get it and put it in play. Don't get behind and get buried by either the split or the changeup.
So 1 out single for Pedroia, and here comes Adrian Gonzalez. He's got hits in 13 of his last 14 games and riding a 7-game hitting streak at .314. The home run and 15 runs batted in. He has been locked in as he takes ball 1 away.
The first ball he's thrown took 3 batters to get a ball thrown.
Look at the 7-game hitting streak for Adrian Gonzalez. And he has faced Hernandez more than anybody on this team as this is in left field. A pretty opposite field swing for Adrian Gonzalez, and he extends the hitting streak to 8 games.
Well, I think, you know, they do those natural rivalries, Cubs, White Sox, Yankees, Mets, Dodgers, Angels. I think it was the great tradition of the San Diego Padres and the Seattle Mariners. That's why
they don't like each other either. It's well, now look at the updated 8-game hitting streak for Adrian Gonzalez. But again, he has faced Hernandez more than anybody else. Gonzalez sitting .296 against him in his career, 8 for 27. The starting 9, the Red Sox feature today. He's seen him the most and takes him to left field for a base hit. 2 on, 1 away. And here's David Ortiz today batting in the cleanup spot. And there is strike 1. The hip ailing Kevin Youkilis a little bit sore today, so out of the lineup today, and slide David Ortiz into the cleanup spot. You coming out of the game last night has stiffened up on him a little bit as this one is sent foul off to the left out of play. Doesn't seem like they're too worried about it, though. It's just right now kind of a tight situation.
That's what Terry Francona said, that he expects him to be back in the lineup tomorrow night. But
where it started is he went into second base, reckless and abandoned on that hip. Hit the ground pretty hard, and that's where the pain started and the stiffness. Kind of wincing as he was coming around, and then later came out of the game. 0-2 is outside, and it's 1-2. Well, this is one of those situations where you got to get to Felix Hernandez when you have the chances early, because you may not have an opportunity as the game goes on. Red Sox here with 2 men on, 1 out. Plenty of base runners last night and just could not cash in. Fights it off foul and it hangs at 1-2. J.D. Drew waits on deck as the Red Sox bat here in the first. Red Sox 0 for 11 last night with runners in scoring position. Team hitting at .212 in that category so far in the season.
I've always thought that the runner scoring position statistic is one that will change. It tends to even out for most teams over a season, over 2 seasons, but
in good teams, you're going to have a lot of base runners. So you take a look at a lot of the good teams and say, wow, they lift a lot of people on base. Well, they're good and they get a lot of people on. It doesn't always bring them in. But you'd like to see more come in if you're Terry Francona based on the last couple games and the way this season has started. A nice chat today with Eric Wedge. He's very pleased with the way things are going in Seattle at the moment. They had a great series against the Tigers in which they swept them and playing good baseball here. And pleased with what he's gotten out of his starters the last couple of nights. Vargas and Pfister in the first 2 games of the series. It really helps out the bullpen when your starters are able to go deep into the game and roles are defined as they have been in the pen, despite the fact that Ardsman's not here yet. In the dirt, and Big Poppy has a full count.
I think they've been very pleased with the fact that Brandon League now has got 7 saves, second in the American League. And now I remember in Toronto, they always say this guy could throw in the mid to high 90s. He should be a closer. Something would happen. But so often with closers, you know, they sometimes they have to go to 3 or 4 different teams before they finally get comfortable and end up being able to handle that role.
2 on, 1 away, a 3-2, and Ortiz strikes out. Bottom dropped out of that, and David is out number 2 of the inning. Second strikeout for Hernandez.
That's 2 strikeouts on changeups. Great changeups, both of them.
So 2 down, first and second, and here is J.D. Drew.
He is 9 for 23 a lifetime against Hernandez. And think about it, I thought he crushed that ball last night. And I'm talking, you know, hard to tell sometimes when you see it on television. But the players here said that on most nights the ball really goes. So maybe he'll start to hit now.
Yeah, that ball in, say, June would be gone.
Like the Lowry ball on Friday night.
Exactly. Key matchup brought to you by New England Acura dealers. Hitting on a 1-0. And Drew takes ball 2, 2-0. JD did have a hit in last night's game, a double, 1 for 4 in the game. And this was the flyout we were talking about last night, out towards the triangle area. Just seemed to die. Ball was not carrying. There's no real wind here last night either. Felix Hernandez not pleased with himself as he falls behind 3-0. Breeze is blowing in today. On Vermonte. Vermont flag flying here at Fenway Park. Drew taking all the way, and he takes ball 4 to load the bases. Red Sox had a bases loaded situation last night and could not score. We'll find out what today holds. Well, Boston baseball fans love Vermont and Cabot cheese. In honor of Vermonte, they're giving you a chance to win a Stratton Golf Getaway for 6. Visit VermontVacation.com for your chance to win. The VermontVacation.com contest ends today, so act now. Well, Vermonte here at Fenway Park. A lot of great fans from Vermont. And the first pitch thrown out here today. There's ball 1 to Jed Lowry.
I was just thinking he's left-handed. He'll probably end up in a bullpen somewhere in the Western Division by August.
Well, the first pitch was a contest winner, Adam DeSaltos, so from South Burlington, Vermont, throwing out the first pitch. Color guard here today was Vermont U.S. Customs and Border Protection Honor Guard. As this one is sent foul, and it's 1-1. It's also nice to see Skip, who's from the Vermont Mountaineers. Their mascot was on the field before the game. Pedroia at third base, Adrian Gonzalez at second base, J.D. Drew at first base, 2 down. Now he fouls it straight back. You get the sense that he is getting used to playing on an everyday basis, something that he wanted to do.
Absolutely. He got set back. Forget how good he was in college. Dustin Pedroia does not let us forget that he thought that he got robbed when Judd Lowry beat him out for the Pac-10 Player of the Year one year, but this is what he always expected he was going to do, whether it's second base, which he played in college, or shortstop.
Terry Francona has praised his play at third base, saying that perhaps that may be the most comfortable he is.
I agree. I mean, I know it's frustrating for Jed because he would prefer to play one position all the time.
Sure.
But he's so much more valuable being able to play first, second, short, and third. I mean, the versatility on the roster. You look up and you see Tampa Bay with a 15-12 record after going 0-7. So much of that is built in the versatility and the fact that they have 5 players who can play at least 5 positions, and they have a bunch of switch hitters. And that versatility is the word that Joe Madden says. Versatility and having switch hitters make managers brave.
Marco Scudero waiting on deck. Bases loaded situation. 2 outs here in the first inning. Just outside. Olivo tried to bring it back to the corner. A lot of changeups in this first inning. That one's up and away. Two-two pitch to Lowry. On the outside corner for strike 3. Lowry didn't think so. That appeared to be away. 94 miles an hour, and Todd Titchener rings up Lowry. No score. At NESN.com/Bruins. Our colleague Chris Yon enjoying the ball game today as we are scoreless headed to this second inning. It is Miguel Olivo, Justin Smoke, and Jack Cuss to face Tim Wakefield, who had a quick and easy first inning on 8 pitches. This appeared to be off the plate. We'll take a look what the Amica Pitch Zone thinks. And it was quite off the plate.
It was quite off the plate. Interesting 2 days for Tom Titchener here in Fenway Park. That call at first base last night on Olivo was pretty unbelievable. He'd already pulled up from running.
And then eventually got Milton Bradley tossed as he was so miffed by the call.
He kept yelling it wasn't even close, and Jerry Davis did say to him, okay, enough is enough. Enough. And he repeated it and got thrown out.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Olivo, the catcher. Bats in the cleanup spot here for the Mariners. Gets a piece and fights it off foul. Well, no doubt Tim Wakefield would like to be in the regular turn in the rotation, something that he's certainly wants to be there, was wanting to be there last year. It's just not been room for him, and this year starting the year in the pen. One of that call didn't get it, and it's a full count. Very close. On the ground towards third, picked by Lowry, who spins and fires. Nice play. Jed Lowry at third base today and throws out Miguel Olivo. We'll talk about his comfort level at third base. He certainly does look comfortable there. Nice rangy play.
Well, one of the things about Lowry is, people say, well, he's not flashy, he doesn't have a great deal of range, but he does have anticipations. The concentration and anticipation. He essentially knows swing pass. He knows what pitchers are trying to do. It gives him a tremendous jump on it, just as Ripken did. You watch Tulowitzki play in the National League. There's that same. I asked Tulowitzki about, okay, what's more important, athletic reaction or anticipation? He says, no question, it's anticipation. And I think Lowry has the same thing.
Well, Cal Ripken talk a lot about that in the course of his career.
Absolutely. I actually thought Cal was the most underrated, great defensive player I ever saw. And that's because people just thought of him as a home run hitter, and he's 6'4", he couldn't cover ground. Well, he did.
Would you say he's the guy that kind of changed what the prototypical shortstop looks like? You think about all the big shortstops that came through for a while. I mean, Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter is fairly tall.
I think so. I mean, even though Robin Yount had 2 years where he had 90 extra base hits, Robin had a pretty normal build. He wasn't a big guy. What I find interesting here is that Justin Smoke's hitting left-handed now. Figgins hit right-handed against him. Most switch hitters will turn around against knuckleballers.
Wondering why that is, though. I mean, I've seen him a lot do it. This one is on the ground to second. Pedroia fires to first for the out. 2 down. Let's check in with Heidi.
Don, Tim Wakefield had only pitched 11 1/3 innings heading into today's start this season. In fact, his longest outing was just 3 1/3 innings. So Terry Francona was asked what he expects to get out of Wakefield today.
Certainly going to depend on the score, how many pitches he's thrown, if he's laboring, how much effort goes into innings. It's hard with Wake because, every pitch looks the same, and you got to remember that he's still using his legs and his arm and shoulder, and so we'll keep an eye on him. He promised me that he'll tell me how he's doing. So, and I've been around him long enough, to make sure he gets the truth.
This is the first time Jared Saltalamacchia is catching a Wakefield start, although he has caught him 5 times in relief. I talked to Saltalamacchia about how comfortable he is catching Wakefield. He said he's fine. He said he catches all of Wakefield's side sessions and had plenty of experience with him in spring training as well. Don?
All right, Heidi, thanks very much. Well, he has been very economical so far. He's retired the first 5 batters he's faced today, and there's pitch number 23 to Jack Cust. Peter, I was asking you, what kind of advantages do you think the guy has switching over to the right side to face Tim Wakefield rather than the left?
I used to ask Bernie Williams, because Bernie Williams was the first guy who did it, and he used to say, I just feel I see the ball better, and I tend to stay in. My swing is more compact. I think in a lot of cases, and Bernie was one of them, it's the natural style. I mean, like Nick Swisher's a natural right-handed hitter. Lowry's a natural right-handed hitter. It may be that they're more comfortable doing that. Their swing is more compact. Wakefield's knuckler's jumping around a lot. I mean, the ball we thought might have been a strike jumped out of the strike zone.
This is outside ball 4. It gets away from Saltalamacchia as Cust makes his way down to first base. First base runner for the Mariners, and another walk for Jack Cust. Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox, is asking, what do you know about keeping bones and joints strong? Step up to the plate and take their 9-inning quiz at bidmc.org/healthyis. 2 outs in the second inning. Jack Cust at first base. And here's Luis Rodriguez. First appearance of the series as he takes strike one. 206 batter with a home run and 7 runs batted in. And Rodriguez, a switch hitter who opts to bat from the right side as well. It starts at third base, shortstop, and second base as their utility infielder. There's a strike, and it's 1-2. Mariners will head home after the ball game today. This wraps up their 6-day trip, and they'll have a day off tomorrow as they return west. Won the first 5 games of this road trip. There's a ground ball right side as Pedroia will run it down and throws it away. This one gets away as Cust will take third base. And a nice play to get there, but then comes up firing and throws behind Adrian Gonzalez. So it probably goes a base hit and an error that gets Cust to third. And there's Pedroia doing a great job to get there, and a good throw might have got him, but he throws it away. It is a single and an error charged to Pedroia on the throw.
I thought that should have been a hit.
It was. Hit and an error.
Yeah.
Yep.
Could well be that the ball was still a little bit moist. The grass has been moist, and he tried to grab it and flip it so fast he obviously never got a grip on it.
So first and third, 2 down, and Michael Saunders coming up. Saunders at 225 with a home run and 6 runs batted in. Red Sox going to Seattle once this year. They'll head to Safeco Field August 12th through the 14th. And that is the only other West Coast trip the Red Sox have. Red Sox are done with the Angels. They're done with the A's out west. A little chillier today as Terry adds some layers. Saunders hits a fly ball out to left field. Carl Crawford's out there waiting. Wynn's going to knock it down, but he runs in to make the catch that ends the inning. The Mariners strand a pair, done with an inning and a half, no score. Red Sox baseball in Nesson is brought to you in part by Eastern Bank, the official bank of the Red Sox television network. Commitment, compassion, and love of the game. Find out what we're made of at easternbank.com. Last half of the second inning back at Fenway Park, scoreless as Felix Hernandez was able to work his way around 2 hits and a walk in the first inning. Ended up striking out the side as he got Ellsbury Ortiz and then got Jed Lowry. And the Red Sox left them loaded. Bottom third of the Sox order here in the second inning. Scutaro, Crawford, and Saltalamacchia. Marco back at shortstop today with Jed Lowry playing at third base. Marco hitting at 189. No homers and 6 runs batted in. Skies one to right, sending Ichiro back to make the catch for the first out of the second inning. This will be kind of a strange spot for Marco Scutaro, who last year gave the Red Sox so much, played hurt a lot of the year, and I get the feeling that's sort of the reason that Terry Francona kind of anointed him as the starting shortstop during the winter, and things have kind of changed since.
They have, but he deserved that right because he played hurt so much. I mean, from whenever I had that nerve problem in his shoulder, was it middle of May? I mean, never uses an excuse. All his defensive metrics went down. His range wasn't the same. Never complained. Went out and played every day. So.
And then in the end, of course, moving to second base because it did hurt so much, and of course the throw was shorter. And kind of finished out the year that way. And the numbers he put up in Toronto, very impressive after being a utility infielder for such a long time. Having a chance to play on an everyday basis. Now sharing time as Carl Crawford grounds one softly to first. Smoke will flip to Hernandez, who very awkwardly went to the bag. And he got the foot on the bag, kind of slipped off of it. But it's there for out number 2, 2 down.
Carl still can't relax. I mean, at first, when you watch him, he practices so hard. He takes so many balls off the tee and every afternoon. Prepares so hard. I mean, I remember Carlos Pena saying to me that he may be as intense in how he prepares as anyone he's ever known. But you see him, and when he's hitting off the tee or taking flips, that right shoulder stays in. He drives every pitch. He drives it what would be over the shortstop's head. But you saw there, first movement, right shoulder flips open. It's just too much. It's obviously bothered him. And when you see that first movement,
looked like he had sort of turned the corner a little bit on the road trip in Anaheim with a home run and multi-hit game, and you start to think that maybe this has sent him in the right direction, but then just did not work out that way again, and he continues to struggle. You really got a feel for him. 2-0 pitch to Saltalamacchia, batting out of the number 9 spot today. Jared at 216, no homers and 6 runs batted in. He was 2 for 4 in the ball game last night and catching the day game after the night game. Terry Francona was asked about that before the game today, and he said, well, he's a young guy. He can bounce back. And of course, in there also to catch Tim Wakefield. To left field. Ryan Langerhans is out there, and he makes the catch almost in his tracks to end the inning. 1-2-3 second for Hernandez. No score from Fenway after 2. Top half of the third inning back at Fenway Park. Jack Wilson leading it off for the Mariners. He takes strike one from Tim Wakefield. Wakefield throwing 32 pitches through the first 2 innings. Tired the first 5 Seattle Mariners he faced today. Interesting to see the different philosophies that teams take when facing Tim Wakefield. Some will be patient. Others will try to swing at the first pitch right out of the gate. You always hear the old adage, it's high, let it fly. Some will go that route. Wilson swinging at everything. This is back at Wakefield, who fires to first for the out. And the first out of the third inning. Well, Sox fans, come see the Sox battle the Angels this week. Great seats are available throughout the 4-game series, including tickets for $30 or less. It starts with Monday night's game through Thursday afternoon's game. Don't miss the action as the season starts to heat up. Visit RedSox.com to get your tickets today.
The thing about Wakefield, he can dictate the game. When he's right, his knuckleball is really moving a lot. That one, I think it was the first pitch to Jack Wilson, was jumping all over the place, and he can dictate a game pretty easily. I mean, you can say, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this. Doesn't do any good if he's right.
You know, it's also been fun to try to figure out is, what the elements do to Tim Wakefield's knuckleball. He's on the ground to second base, and Ichiro is retired. We would go into Tropicana Field where inevitably he had great success for a number of years, and of course there are no elements when you're talking about Tropicana Field inside the dome.
And he was good in Minnesota, too.
Yes. But you wonder if it's better if the wind is in his face or behind him. Today it's behind him. The breeze blowing in here today, and so far so good for Tim Wakefield.
And there are so few knuckleballers now. R.A. Dickey of the Mets is trying to become the next Tim Wakefield at 35 years old. Difference is he could throw in the mid-80s.
Right.
And his knuckleball is 75 to 78.
When Wakefield was going really good, too, you would see a lot more curveballs at times, too. And, of course, now Wake not starting like he used to, and would like to have another pitch in his repertoire when he did start. And a lot of nights the curveball was working well for him, but his fastball is not 78 miles an hour. This is on the ground and up the middle. Scudero will not get it. Kicks out to center. Pedroia will run it down. Scudero ranging in behind second base. Glances off his glove, and Sean Figgins got very good speed. Reaches at first base. This is going to be a tough play either way with Figgins running. And they have charged Marco Scudero with an error.
Ball did take a hop. It looked like one of Wakefield's knuckleballs.
Fifth error for the Red Sox of the series, and their second miscue of the day. Ryan Langer hands down the left field line, hooking foul. Tonight, Jason Varitek joins the Mad Fishermen for bass fishing on Lake Winnipesaukee and trivia on Charlie Moore Outdoors. Catch all the fishing and fun tonight at 7. Well, prior to the series, the Red Sox had gone 8 games without an error. And 5 errors now in this 3-game series, 2 today. Well, the first, and Figgins back to the bag. 3 thefts, but he has been caught 3 times. There he goes. Kind of a pitch out, and the throw down is going to be in time. They got him.
Very well done. That was a major part of the Mariners' pre-game discussion was, okay, Wakefield, Saltalamacchia, we're going to run as much as we can.
Scoreless.
the river from Bellows Falls. He had to go to the hospital.
Vermont Day here at Fenway Park, and Vermont certainly has great Red Sox fans as we play along here to the bottom of the third inning. Top of the Red Sox order to face Felix Hernandez. Hernandez able to strike out Jacoby Ellsbury in the first inning. This one right back at him, threw it into center field. Right back where it came from. And Ellsbury aboard to begin things here in the third inning with the third Boston hit of the day. Turn around a 91-mile-an-hour fastball right back at him.
Well, it said hit the fastball. Don't let him get too deep into the count. Don't let him fool around with all those other pitches.
So lead runner on for the Red Sox for the first time today, and here's Dustin Pedroia. 1 for 1 today, singled to right field. This is what ended last inning and what you were talking about, Peter.
Great call on that pitch out. You know, you think about one or two things that maybe get Jared Saltalamacchia back to get the confidence he had in the spring.
Well, Pedroia feeling some confidence right now. He's 2 for 2 against Hernandez. First two have reached on base hits here in the third inning for Boston.
I said to Pedroia this morning, you're going to have a hitting streak that is close to your buddy, Mr. ATA with the Dodgers, and he said, I'll have one much longer than he does.
What's it at right now, 26?
26. We always say, because he was in Arizona, he was called Ethier, but growing up in Spencer, Massachusetts, all his family, it's ATA. So he likes me to always use his name properly on television in New England.
2 on, nobody out for Adrian Gonzalez. Single to left field in the first inning, and now swats one foul off to the left. Well, the LA Dodgers 4.5 games behind the Colorado Rockies in the National League West under Don Mattingly. Adrian takes a pitch down and in.
When the Dodgers played here last summer, Ethier got 200 tickets for the Sunday night game.
This is down the line and almost caught the bag just outside the line.
That must be a visiting player record.
It has to be pretty close. I'm trying to think of anybody
There's
that may
a lot
have
of ATAs around left in New England too. I donated my seats to his father, but
Carlos Pena had a bunch of folks here. I don't think it was 200, but he also had a tight end with Northeastern as well. They had a lot of Northeastern students who were here. 2 on, nobody out. Adrian Gonzalez waiting on a 1-2 pitch. Fouled off. Your radio home for Boston Red Sox baseball is also the home for Boston's #1 morning show. Dennis and Callahan. Tune in tomorrow morning at 6 to hear the best sports talk show in America with John Dennis and Jerry Callahan. That's weekday mornings at 6 on WEEI Sports Radio Network, and of course right here on Nesson. The 1-2 pitch. Jammed and pops it up foul. That'll get back into the seats. Well, just a pitch ago, apparently a pretty good grab by a fan. And it was. Nice job. A 1-2 pitch to Gonzalez. Outside, and it's 2-2, 96 that time from Hernandez. The Red Sox have not had much luck in this situation, but Gonzalez has in the year. 367 with runners in scoring position. Ellsbury at second base, Pedroia at first base. And a swing and a miss. Gonzalez strikes out. Like a slider that ran in on his hands, and that's strikeout number 4 for Felix Hernandez.
It was a nasty pitch. He went away on the pitch before with a fastball, and then he comes back with that slider. And you don't want to get too deep against King Felix too often.
One out, first and second for David Ortiz. David struck out swinging in the first inning. One of 4 strikeouts today for Hernandez. Hernandez last year for the Seattle Mariners, a 2.27 earned run average. AL Cy Young Award winner as Ortiz fouls it off. Covidien, a global healthcare products company, is a proud sponsor of the Red Sox Foundation, helping to address health needs in our communities. 34 starts last year for Hernandez, who was 13-12 with a 2.27 ERA. And I guess when you go to vote, you got to think about the team that he is on. We saw that with Zach Greinke, who had incredible numbers and really should have had a lot more wins if he wasn't pitching for the Kansas City Royals at the time. And certainly the voters taking that into consideration when thinking about Hernandez, who was 13-12. 1-1. Sent foul and out of play. The 2.27 ERA last year for Hernandez was the lowest earned run average in Mariners history. Randy Johnson had a 2.28 back in 1997. Looks with 1 out and 2 on to David Ortiz. This one jolted to deep left field. Langerhans going back, going to grab some wall. Around from second base comes Ellsbury. Behind him is Pedroia. The throw is not going to be in time, and the Red Sox take a 2-0 lead. Big Papi drives in a pair.
Taking a fastball the other way. .94 miles an hour, but down and out where Papi hits best.
High up on the wall for Ortiz. Ellsbury scoring easily, and Pedroia all the way from first base in behind him. RBIs 12 and 13 on the year for Big Papi, and the Red Sox able to jump out on top here of Felix Hernandez and the Mariners. Now Drew takes ball 1. JD walked in the first inning. Only free pass served up by Hernandez. Snap throw to second, and Big Papi gets back. So we've seen in this series, Olivo not afraid to throw to any base at any time.
David faking a little dash over third base.
On the ground right side, Jack Wilson to his left will throw out J.D. Drew. And taking third base is David Ortiz with now 2 down. So 2-away, and it brings up Jed Lowry. He felt he was wronged by Todd Titchener his first time up. His called third strike was made. The pitch that appeared to be well off the plate outside. And he was rung up with the bases loaded in the first. Jed no doubt had a beef on this one. Called out on that pitch. Number 7 up and away.
No, that was not a strike.
Fouls it off, down 0-2. We're talking about the win totals for Hernandez, the most wins he's had in any given season. 2009, the year before last. 19 victories, was 19-5. Nifty 2.49 earned run average, 34 starts that year.
Well, his run support was so bad at one stretch last year. At one point, he had a losing record. And there were a lot of people that, very wise sabermetricians, were saying he's still the best pitcher in the league. That the wins are a function of teammates. It's not an individual thing. But it was really interesting at one point to see if he was going to make a serious run at the Cy Young and being either 500 or a little bit below. He probably would have won it.
Has anyone ever won the Cy Young Award that did not have a winning individual record?
I don't think so. But Zach Greinke had the fewest wins of any Cy Young Award winner the year before.
Lowry strikes out, couldn't hold up. It's 5 Ks for Hernandez, but the Red Sox break through with 2 runs on top, 2-0. Top half of the 4th inning back at Fenway Park. Ryan Langerhans leading it off for the Mariners. Coming off, Felix Hernandez and David Ortiz very friendly and give and take on the way by. David running around the bases as Miguel Olivo tried to pick him off second base.
Then David did a little bluff towards third when Hernandez got the ball back, and Hernandez bluffed back to second and turned. It was pretty funny.
0-2 to Langerhans, who takes strike 3. First strikeout for Tim Wakefield. 1 out in the 4th inning. And first 2 right down the middle. And that knuckleball flutters to the top of the strike zone. Miguel Olivo grounded out to third base his first time up. Popped up into shallow left. Crawford coming in when the glass is down. makes the catch for the second out. Let's check in with Heidi.
Don, the Red Sox just improved their numbers with runners in scoring position with David Ortiz double last inning. But that's something they've struggled with this season, going 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position last night. I talked to hitting coach Dave Magadan about what the team can do to improve that stat.
You know, to drive in runs, you have to want to be in those situations. You want to be in those situations. Bases loaded, nobody out, one out. You know, second and third, one out. You got to feel good about yourself in those situations and want to be the guy. And I think all our guys feel that way. But, you know, when somebody doesn't come through, then the next guy kind of puts a little more pressure on himself to come through than the next guy, and it goes on down the line.
I also talked to Adrian Gonzalez about that. He said to be successful, you have to want that pressure situation, but also not think about the pressure. He said you can't think about what the guy in front of you did or what your record is. You have to stay in that at-bat and not worry about anything else. Don?
All right, Heidi, thank you very much. Things improving in that area today for the Red Sox. David Ortiz with a 2-run double. And you look at Dave Magadan, it occurs to you that what a tough job it is to be a hitting coach and having to worry about so many guys. Somebody's going to be going through a long slump. And you kind of take that slump with you. I mean, he's going through this Carl Crawford thing as Carl Crawford is.
Absolutely. He's in there in the cage and watching him hit off the tee and watching him hit in BP in that cage. And, you know, you see the perfect swings there. You see the perfect swings in BP, and then the right shoulder flies out in the games. And it's just, there's nothing you can do because you're dealing with human nature. You're not dealing with anything mechanical.
Can you take what you did at 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock? And you hope that it works out that way and you continue to do it and do it again and again. Swing and a miss. Wakefield strikes out 2 in the inning. A 1-2-3 fourth and a 2-0 Red Sox lead. Legend Louis Tiant enjoying the game here today in the Legend Suite at Fenway Park. A nice hand from the Fenway faithful as we move along to the bottom of the 4th inning. Marco Scudero leading it off and taking strike 1. Marco's second at bat against Felix Hernandez. He flied out to right field in the 2nd inning. It's a fly ball this time out to right center. Michael Saunders tracking it. Gets there and makes the catch for the first out of the 4th inning. Well, the play of the week is brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. A Sunday afternoon, Carl Crawford launched his first home run in a Red Sox uniform in a 7-0 win against the Angels. The Sox left fielder hit the 2-run home run off Hisanori Takahashi in the 6th inning. The play of the week is brought to you by Taco Bell.
It was great reading, getting from Taco Bell to Takahashi in the same sentence.
Almost the same one. It wasn't easy.
Yeah, you just don't get any better.
One out here in the fourth inning for Carl Crawford. One pitch, fouled it off to the left. And off the facade, back down again. Swing and a foul tip held onto by Olivo, and a strikeout for Carl Crawford. 6 strikeouts now for Felix Hernandez.
To me, you still see so much movement in Carl while Fernandez is getting ready. That's just, he doesn't get locked in. And again, it's just anticipation and just being over anxious.
2 down here in the fourth inning. Jared Saltalamacchia, the batter. We're talking about the 19 wins for Felix Hernandez in 2009. He was tied for the most wins in the American League that year with CC Sabathia of the Yankees and Justin Verlander of the Tigers. Swinging a foul. And it is 0-2. It's time now for today's AT&T trivia question. Question is, who is the last pitcher to lead his league in ERA in 2 consecutive seasons? Well, no doubt that Hernandez has matured over the years, but you can understand if he was a little immature when he started. He started for the Mariners on opening day in 2007 and was the 4th pitcher since 1900 to win on opening day before turning 21. And he strikes out Jared Saltalamacchia to end the 4th inning. 7 Ks for Hernandez. Red Sox have a 2-0 lead. Adrian and Betsy Gonzalez to help local families by donating $1,000 for every home run Adrian hits this season to select Habitat for Humanity affiliates in eastern Massachusetts. A crystal clear day in Boston today, a little bit on the chilly side. This May the 1st as we have turned the page on April. And the Red Sox trying to salvage the 3rd game of this 3-game series today against the Mariners. 2-0 advantage as Tim Wakefield works into the 5th.
We'll see some pitches. We should put Jack Cust up there. His father, Jack, who runs a great baseball program in Flemington, New Jersey. Ryan Kalish, Rick Porcello, guys like that have been in it. He's here today. He's up from New Jersey. And I didn't get a chance to talk to him. I was going to ask him is, watching your son play, when you go to your camp, do you have to take the first 500 pitches that get thrown to you?
No, Cust will send this down the left field line into the corner. Over is Crawford to play it. But Cust is into second base with a double to begin things here in the 5th inning. Second time he has been on base today after he walked back in the 2nd inning. Knuckleball away that he goes out and gets.
He does have the makings of being this generation's Matt Stairs. Probably be hitting it. Still in the big leagues at like 44 years old. He just won't be coaching high school hockey in Maine like Matt Stairs.
3 hits and 5 walks in the series for Jack Cust now. I went up and had a speaking engagement in Bangor, Maine a couple of years ago. And we were up there, and I saw Matt while we were up there. I have never been colder, maybe in my life, than I was in Bangor, Maine. It was in January. A little chilly up there where he was coaching hockey.
Still does. They lost in the state semifinals this year, but he likes to remind me that he and I have one thing in common. We both have Slapshot on our iPods.
One pitch misses, and the count is 1-1. Do you have your own CD on your iPod?
Yes, I do. That's vanity.
I was wondering, as a rock star, whether or not you have your own music on your own iPod.
I have to listen to it occasionally before I play so I can remember the words.
You actually had me on one Zebon. Was it Wake Me, Shake Me?
Wake Me, Shake Me.
My music career hasn't taken off. This one is to third base. Lowry knocks it down, turns and fires, and is able to get Luis Rodriguez. Nice play by Jed Lowry. Knocked it down first, then got up and quickly throws out Rodriguez.
It's 2 very good plays by Lowry at third.
No advance at second base for Jack Cust. So Cust at second, 1 down, and Michael Saunders coming up. Flied out to left field in the 2nd inning. A lot of people talking before the season, what will Tim Wakefield's role be? And it just seems every year, doesn't matter what happens, you cannot have enough starting pitching, and you got him as a possibility, and here is a case in point. This one is cued with a lot of English down to Lowry. On the run and in time. Nice pick at first by Gonzalez. Saunders is retired, 2 down.
Well, that was it 89. He was a starter. What a good play by Lowry. Then they used him as a closer. Twice he came in and pitched on 3 days rest when he went back in the rotation because they were backing off Pedro Martinez. And then they left him off the playoff roster in the 2nd round.
2 down, Jack Cust at second base. There's Jack Wilson, bats out of the number 9 spot in the order. This one flutters inside and almost gets a piece of Wilson. You think about him closing games. You just don't know what a knuckleball is going to do. That had to be, I mean, you're already, every time a closer comes in, it's a little bit iffy.
I thought the same thing like 20 years before when Charlie Huff did it. I wondered, well, how in the world can they take that chance?
To short, Scudero cross to first in time. Wilson is gone. Jack Cust double is wasted. It's 2-0 Red Sox.
Oh, it was the kid Garrett Cole.
On this week's all-new Ultimate Red Sox show with Heidi Watney, presented by Arbella Insurance, Peter Gammon sits down with Josh Beckett. We remember Roger Clemens' 20K game 25 years later and much more. That's the Ultimate Red Sox show today after Red Sox final. I don't want to give anything away, but give us a little bit of a tease of your interview with Josh Beckett.
He was phenomenal. Just talking about pitching, why the changeup is so important. I mean, he doesn't like those press conference type things, but he is really intelligent when you talk to him about pitching. That was the day that convinced me, you know what, he can begin to reinvent himself the way Curt Schilling reinvented himself. And I'd never, again, he tends to be a little bit glib and so forth in those media gatherings behind a podium where he's not comfortable. But it was fascinating to me just to listen to him. I mean, we actually talked for about 35 minutes, and every bit of it could have been used. He knows exactly what he wants to do.
Well, no doubt this has been a very good season for him. Do you think health has been a big part of that?
I think so. I mean, I don't, hopefully this, whatever is, they're still not sure exactly when he's going to pitch next, but.
There is strike three to Jacoby Ellsbury, who struck out for the second time today.
Hernandez's slider has been unbelievable.
Very close pitch and called strike three.
Left-handed hitters seem to get frozen by that. Saw him make Gonzalez up alive with it.
8 strikeouts in the game now for Hernandez. Second time Ellsbury's down by way of the K. And here's Dustin Pedroia, who's had a 2-hit day already. Single to right in the first inning, single to left in the third. It's 0-2. Adrian Gonzalez waiting on deck as Hernandez has retired 6 Red Sox in a row. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Ball in the dirt as Pedroia is going to say that he got a piece of it, foul tipping it. And he is strikeout victim number 9 as we check in with Heidi.
Well, Don, just as Josh Beckett provides leadership for the Red Sox staff, the reigning Cy Young Award winner Felix Hernandez does the same for the Mariners at just 25 years old. Last year, he led the league in ERA, innings pitched, in just about every statistical category for a pitcher. And I asked his pitching coach, Carl Willis, what kind of influence he has over the rest of the staff.
I think really, in Felix's case, it's how he prepares, how he is religious to his routine. He's very consistent because in the case of Michael Pineda, who's had a very quick start and successful start to his major league career, it's so important for him to watch Felix, to talk to Felix, to learn from him, but understand there are very few people, if any, who can go out and do it like Felix does. So I think just how he prepares himself and takes the importance of his routine into each start is so important.
Willis also pointed out that Felix is incredibly laid back and he likes to keep things loose and fun. He can always be seen joking around with teammates or even guys from other teams. In fact, his close relationship with Adrian Beltre last year garnered warnings to both teams from the umpire when Hernandez had some friendly banter going back and forth with Beltre when he struck him out. Hernandez laughed about that when I talked to him yesterday, saying he may have to let the umpires know he's friends with Ortiz, too. Don?
All right, Heidi, thank you very much. There's no doubt, when you think back, Peter, over the last few years in the beginning of Felix's career, that you would see the body language from him was not always the best. He would have times where he appeared to be sulking, wasn't happy with what was going on if he didn't get a particular pitch that he thought he should have had. That's all gone now, and he's now really kind of become a leader on that pitching staff. His demeanor has changed.
Well, I think there was so much hype when he came out. I remember being in spring training when he was 19 years old and people saying this guy may be one of the greatest pitchers ever come along. And I think living up to that when you're 20, 21, 22, I mean, now he's just comfortable with being who he is, the best pitcher in the American League. But there's a lot of pressure on you when you come into that situation. Plus, the Mariners were coming off some great years, and where they had won 115 games under Lou Piniella, and he was coming at a time when they were starting to slide backward a little bit, and I think there was almost too much was put on his shoulders.
Off his bare hand, ill-advised, out to short. Rodriguez fires to first base to get Gonzalez. 1-6-3 on the out that ends the fifth. It's 2-0 Red Sox. Bank.com. Felix Hernandez has now retired the last 8 Red Sox in a row. But it is the Red Sox on top 2-0 as we head to the 6th inning. Tim Wakefield back on the mound in this spot start, pitching into the 6th. Ichiro Suzuki takes strike 1.
As we go from Felix to Weaver, Angels must be really happy because Weaver's replacement, Tyler Chatwood, first pitch, Sam Fuld gets a base hit. They got 5 runs in the first inning. So it's 5-1 Tampa Bay in the 5th inning.
How about the start for Sam Fuld in a Rays uniform?
It's tremendous. OPS over 900. And he's so energetic. It's great. I mean, he can play all 3 positions. He can throw. It's a really good story. And I always thought he got shortchanged with the Cubs, so I'm very happy to see it.
Swing and a miss. Ichiro with an awkward cut strikes out. It's a 3rd K. Tim Wakefield.
Swing.
How about this?
That ball jumped all over the place. Look at that.
Well, action in the pen. Bobby Jenks warming in the bullpen, a clean shaven Bobby Jenks, a new look. Didn't even recognize him when he walked in the clubhouse today, trying to mix it up.
ZZ Top era is over.
I guess so. I mean, I don't ever remember him without the beard when he was in the Chicago White Sox closer's role. It's something to mix it up, I guess. It's been a struggle lately for him as this pitch misses, and it is 1-1. Sean Figgins 0 for 2 today. Well, it's time now for the answer to today's AT&T trivia question. He was the last pitcher to lead his league in ERA 2 consecutive seasons, and the answer is close to home. Pedro Martinez, 2002 and 2003, and a 2.26 ERA in 02, 2.22 in 2003 to lead the American League. It was actually the 2nd time Pedro led in back-to-back seasons. He led the AL in '99 and in 2000. Freddie Garcia broke up the streak when he led in 2001. And, of course, Felix Hernandez led last year with a 2.27 ERA, joining Randy Johnson as the Mariners to have won an ERA title.
Well, the first 4 leaders in ERA in the American League right now are all in the Western Division, led by Weaver at 0.99.
The Red Sox going to see 2 of them. This pitch misses inside. Look at the list. Weaver, Heron, we'll see them back to back. Cahill in Oakland. Pineda, we missed Pineda in the series with the Mariners. This one is popped up in a shallow right. Pedroia out. And now it is Gonzalez on the dirt. Pedroia didn't get a real good look. I was watching him, and he didn't see it. But Adrian Gonzalez did. 2 down. Boston baseball fans love Vermont and Cabot cheese. In honor of Vermont Day, they're giving you a chance to win a Stratton Golf getaway for 6. Visit VermontVacation.com for your chance to win. The VermontVacation.com contest ends today, so act now. Two down for Ryan Langerhans, who takes a pitch outside for ball 1. Line to right and in for a base hit over as J.D. Drew to gather it. That is only the 3rd hit of the day for the Seattle Mariners, and here comes Terry Francona. Tim Wakefield got 2 quick outs, but that is going to be it for Wakefield as he works here into the 6th inning with 2 down. Pitching change from Fenway. It's 2-0 Red Sox. Two 2-0 Red Sox on top of the Seattle Mariners with 2 outs here in the top half of the 6th inning. The pitching line for Tim Wakefield is brought to you by Ace Ticket. 5 2/3, 3 hits, no runs, a walk and 3 Ks. He is responsible for Ryan Langerhans at first base. Miguel Olivo is the batter. Takes a pitch down and away from the new Red Sox pitcher Bobby Jenks. New look. No more beard for Jenks. His 11th appearance, 1-2 with an 8.64 ERA.
It's interesting to go from 64-mile-an-hour knuckleballs to the first pitch from Jenks, 95 miles an hour. That's a little change.
Remember back in the years when they tried to figure out where to put Tim Wakefield in the rotation and want to put him in between two hard throwers. To me, it made more sense to bring in a guy like this after you see Wakefield in that game.
I agree. Back when Wilbur Wood was really good for the White Sox in the 70s, and they had two kids named Forster and Gossage, and it was incredible to watch Wilbur go out for 6 or 7 innings, and then Gossage and Forster throwing 98 miles an hour coming in. I remember Carlin Fisk saying it should be against the wall because nobody could see it.
And Bobby Jenks getting ahead, a 1-2 pitch and a slider, it appeared. Miguel Olivo is grounded out to third base, flied out to left, 0 for 2. Zips it outside at 94, and it evens up at 2-2. You know, an interesting thought. You think about the Eric Gagne situation. The only reason I bring it up is because he was a guy who closed, came here, just never really fit into that role. You wonder if Bobby Jenks goes through that at all. The adrenaline being different.
I don't think so. I actually talked to Kurt Young about that. He said, you know, it's one of those things you do have to think about. I mean, you just wonder. There's an adjustment there, and it's hard.
Runner takes off, and a line drive base hit for Olivo. Stopping at second is Langerhans, and it's first and second with 2 down. Well, the Amica Pitch Zone is brought to you by Amica Insurance. Amica Insurance it's not just how you're covered, it's how you're treated. And Tim Wakefield ended up with a total of 3 strikeouts today. Was able to get Langerhans in the 4th. Smoke also in the 4th inning, and then he gets Ichiro, a very strange swing for his 3 Ks on the day.
Those 3 strikeouts illustrated how much Wakefield had his knuckleball movie today. So
2 on, 2 down for Justin Smoke, who was 0 for 2. I mean, you're a guy who he works so much on adrenaline. You're the last guy. Nobody's warming up in behind you. It's all different.
Can you imagine? I can't imagine Jonathan Papelbon coming into a 9-3 game in the 7th inning. I mean, there's a guy who lives off the edge and is an adrenaline guy.
Case in point, a lot of his spring training outings for Papelbon not very good.
He didn't look good pitching down the minor league complex in an intra-squad game. No kidding. Jeff Reardon was that way. I mean, he wasn't as hard a thrower as any of these guys, but he was an adrenaline guy, and it was really hard for him to come in the 6th or 7th inning.
In there for strike 2 at 96, 1-2. Last 6 games, Bobby Jenks has given up 9 runs, 8 of them earned.
I think it's very important that Terry Francona trying to get him a lot of work to get back into a routine, and I think it was important to get him work here. 2 innings or whatever he's going to do.
Bounces in and gets away. Everybody moves up. Langerhans to third base. Olivo to second base. Wild pitch charge to Bobby Jenks. Saltalamacchia sliding over as quickly as he can, but it's by him very quickly. So second and third, 2 down. And Justin Smoke with a count of 2-2. Up and away, ball 3, 98, but well off the mark. Ball 4, not tantalizing enough. Fastball that was up, and there's a walk to Smoke. Loads the bases as Jack Custer coming up. Well, this May, visit Fenway Park to see two great Red Sox games. First, be there when the Red Sox play either the Angels or the Twins, and then pair that with a date to see the Chicago Cubs' long-awaited return to Fenway Park. Seats are available in a variety of locations throughout the ballpark. Visit redsox.com/doubleplay to get your tickets today. Well, all of a sudden, a bases-loaded situation here for the Mariners, with 2 outs in the 6th inning, and Jack Cuss coming up. Cuss walked in the 2nd inning and doubled in the 5th.
Well, he matched up with Jenks on Friday night, so.
There's ball 1. Jenks has thrown 12 pitches and 5 strikes. Ball 2, 2-0. Jenks heard some booing here the other night. He's hearing more right now as Kurt Young heads out.
First couple of pitches to Smoke, so under control. Fastball of 95 miles an hour. Then the slider that was so good, but then he overthrew the curveball, and he's been overthrowing every pitch since.
Well, tonight at 10, join Jade McCarthy for Nesson Daily, presented by Sun Life Financial. They'll have a preview of Game 2 between the Bruins and Flyers as Boston looks to take a commanding 2-0 series lead. Plus, we'll have a complete recap from the Celtics Eastern Conference semifinal series opener with the Heat down in Miami. All this and much more on Nesson Daily tonight at 10, only on Nesson. 2-0 pitch to Cust. Is in there for strike 194. Custis had 4 at-bats with the bases loaded this year and has walked all 4 times. It is Langerhans at third, Olivo at second, and Smoke at first. Just outside, 3-1. This one gets away to the backstop, and from third comes Langerhans. Run scores for the Mariners. It is charged to Tim Wakefield. So the first run of the day charged to Wakefield as Jenks allows an inherited runner to score, and the Mariners cut the Red Sox lead in half. Bases reloaded here in the walk to Cust, and here's Luis Rodriguez. Rodriguez reached on a base hit in the 2nd, grounded out in the 5th. Nobody warming up behind Jenks. Still in the pen at the moment. Looks like Matt Albers getting ready to warm up here. Well, tonight at 8, don't miss Nesson's English Premier League match of the week between Tottenham Hotspur and Chelsea. And you can follow the world's most historic soccer club, Liverpool, by visiting nesson.com/Liverpool. In there for a strike. Kind of a mock cheer goes up at Fenway Park. Tying run 90 feet away for the Mariners. Bases loaded, 2 down. And a 1-1 to Rodriguez. It's outside. There is Olivo. Smoke at second. Cust at first. strike two. Mariners have left 3 men on base through the first 5. They've got them loaded here with 2 down in the inning. The 2-2 pitch in the dirt. And Saltalamacchia didn't know where it was right away. It was down by his shoes. He locates it quickly, and it's now a full count. He yanked it down into the dirt. Three ball counts to the last 3 batters for Bobby Jenks. His 3-2 pitch to Rodriguez. Everybody moving. His ball 4, and the game is tied. 3 straight walks for Jenks. From third comes Olivo, and it is tied up 2-2.
Well, this is twice in this series for Seattle that Jenks has really struggled. In theory, in building up the bullpen, again, signing Jenks, theory was, of course, that he can be a bridge. He can pitch in front of Bard, you know, and this team was going to score enough runs so that they win those 7-5 games and so forth. Well, he hasn't been able to hold them in Seattle in this series.
I guess, as you say, the thought process was to get the starter for 6 innings, and it really shortens the game when you have a guy for the 7th, 8th, and 9th already selected. 3 walks is a career high, ties a career high for Bobby Jenks, and they have come in succession here in the 6th inning. So bases loaded, 2 down, and now Michael Saunders the batter. And he takes strike 1. Eighth member of the Mariners to bat here in the 6th inning. In there for strike 0-2. Saunders is flied out to left and grounded out to third base. Outside for ball 1, 1-2.
It went right back out there again, but it was off the plate.
Swinging a ground ball foul. And the next pitch for Bobby Jenks will be a season high for him. 27 pitches. As he has come out of the pen, this is the 5th batter that he's faced. He's thrown 11 strikes in 26 pitches. Two and two.
Overthrew that one badly out of the strike zone. This is a mini series.
Zach Wilson waits on deck. Swinging a line drive to left. Crawford's over to make the catch. Saunders may have done Jenks a favor there as he lines one out to left to end the inning. The Mariners get 2 runs and tie the game 2-2. Arbor Coat Exterior Stain by Benjamin Moore, a revolutionary waterborne stain that outperforms the best oil-based stains on the market. Find Arbor Coat at your local Benjamin Moore retailer. 2-2 game as we head to the last half of the 6th inning now. Ortiz hits one high in the air to center field, but Michael Saunders is out there. And he makes a catch for the first out of the 6th inning. Well, a 25-minute wait for Felix Hernandez, but he's got one out on one pitch here in the bottom of the 6th. Here comes J.D. Drew. That is now 9 in a row retired by Felix Hernandez. There is strike one to Drew.
Seems the last 2 pitches he's exaggerated that little turn, almost like Louis Tiant.
Yes.
It's one of the things that hitters will tell you that he's added. It makes him more deceptive as he goes along. That he used to be more of a straight, directly to the catcher pitcher, and now he does that little turn. Makes the ball all that much harder to pick up.
That one gets away, up and away. 2-2. Drew today has walked and grounded out to second base. Ground ball right side at Jack Wilson at second base. There's 2 down. It's time for a game break and Tom Caron. TC. Okay, Tom, thanks very much. Here tied 2-2. Red Sox got their 2 runs in the 3rd. The Mariners got their 2 in the top half of this, the 6th inning. And there's 2 outs here in the bottom half of the inning. Jed Lowry 0 for 2. Struck out looking in the 1st inning, then struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. There's a strike over the outside corner, 1-1.
Really get the sense in this inning that all of a sudden Felix gets new life. It's almost like he put the foot down on the pedal. But he is at 93 pitches as well.
This one fouled off down the left field line. Had a long wait, 25 minutes. Well, the Seattle Mariners were getting 2 runs for him. For every Red Sox game that goes into extra innings or the Red Sox get a save, CVS Pharmacy will donate $500 to Children's Hospital Boston. CVS Pharmacy is the official pharmacy of the Boston Red Sox. 1-2 is grounded foul, and it hangs at 1-2.
There's that slider again. Boy, he is. Left-handed hitters apparently don't pick it up at all. You see so late the reaction to them. Saw it with Adrian Gonzalez before, saw it with Drew before.
And Felix still just 25 years of age. 7th start of the season for him. He has wins at Oakland against the A's, and then at home against the A's, and then beat Detroit as part of this road trip in his last outing, which was a 6-inning effort. There's ball 3. The most pitches he's thrown in any outing this year, through 126 pitches. And a victory against the Oakland A's, 7 2/3 innings. Carl Willis, the pitching coach for the Mariners.
He, of course, worked with Eric Wedge in Cleveland. They were together as manager and pitching coach on every level coming up to the Indians organization under John Farrell.
Swing and a miss. Lowry has struck out for the 3rd time today. It's 10 Ks for Felix Hernandez. Game tied 2-2.
TV Guide voted Seinfeld the best show of all time. Now see Jerry Seinfeld live on stage at MGM Grand at Foxwoods on May 13th and 14th at 8 p.m. For tickets, visit foxwoods.com or call 866-646-0609 or Ticketmaster.
Seventh inning tied 2-2 back at Fenway Park on this Vermont day as Red Sox bring on their third arm of the day. Matt Albers with the game, his sixth appearance. 1.50 ERA and stint on the DL, the lat strain. But opponents have hit a 143 against Matt Albers. Pitched a season high 2 innings on Friday night in game 1 of the series against the Mariners. Jack Wilson leads it off and takes strike 1. Wilson is grounded back to the mound and grounded out to shortstop. 0 for 2. Down in the count, 0 and 2. A tough outing for Bobby Jenks. He allowed an inherited runner to score, gave up a hit and a run of his own, walked 3 batters in a row, did not record a strikeout, and erases Tim Wakefield from any kind of decision today. 0-2 is a pop-up foul ground as Gonzalez moves over and makes the catch for out number 1. Let's check back in with Heidi.
Well, thank you, Don. You know, it is Vermont Day here at Fenway Park, and this kid is from Vermont, Jasper Goodman. He is the Kid Nation captain from Vermont. Now, Kid Nation captain, what does that mean? What do you do as a Red Sox Kid Nation captain?
Well, it's all about this kids helping kids, and it's raising money for kids in need. We got introduced on the field here, and we did an event with Cradles to Crayons, which is an organization out of Boston that raises all kinds of stuff, books, clothes, and everything, and we had a big clothing drive that we did with them.
That's great. Jasper also got to interview Adrian Gonzalez before the game. He has his own radio show on Tuesday nights up in Vermont. Now, how does an 11-year-old kid get his own radio show?
Well, I got to be a captain by online voting, and I went to the radio station for some help, and they came through, and the man who owns the station and does the radio, the sports, his name is Ken Squire, he liked me, and so it got a weekly radio show.
Well, and I saw him. He came down to spring training, interviewed a couple players. A very bright kid. Jasper, thank you so much for joining us. Happy Vermont Day, everyone. And thank you for being a guest on our show.
No problem, Heidi.
All right, back to you, Don.
All right, Heidi, thanks very much. That was outstanding. Jasper's got quite a future ahead of him. One out here in the 7th inning for Ichiro's, down in the count 1 and 2. Jasper came up. We had a chance to meet him up here in the booth. I think he would like to have pushed me out of the booth and stepped right in.
I was going to say, if Jerry's under the weather tomorrow night, he might be sitting right here.
Jasper maybe right here. 2-2 pitch. He is in the air to left. Crawford moves over into the corner to make the catch. Well, the lefty up there was hooking away from Crawford, but he kept running over, and he makes the grab on Ichiro for out number 2 of the 7th inning.
Give Albers credit, the way in, out, out again, and by that time Ichiro seemed a little surprised that he went back out on that fastball, didn't get a particularly good swing on it.
2 down, Sean Figgins is 0 for 3 today. Did reach on an error charge to Marco Scutero back in the 3rd inning.
Back to the left-handed hitting, switch hitting, Sean Figgins.
After choosing to bat on the other side against right-handed throwing Tim Wakefield, of course, the knuckleballer. Wakefield 5 2/3 innings today, 3 hits. He is touched for 1 run as Jenks allowed his inherited runner to score, walk, and 3 strikeouts. To right center field, Ellsbury on the run will make the running grab. hung up long enough for Ellsbury to run over and make the catch to end the top of the 7th inning. And 7th inning stretch time, and the game tied 2-2. We'll stay here at Fenway Park for God Bless America on this Vermont Day, as Rosie Newton from St. Albans, Vermont, and runner-up to the Sing Your Way to Fenway Park contest earlier this year. It's part of the 2011 Red Sox road trip. Sing Your Way to Fenway Park. They're going to do it in each state. Fans audition for the opportunity to perform the national anthem here at Fenway Park. And here is Rosie Newton from St. Albans, Vermont.
Here to perform God Bless America on Vermont Day, please welcome Rose Marie Newton.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, wide with fire. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet
No.
Pay a little tribute to Walpole's Mike Milbury and Joe Morgan.
Yes. Tomorrow night, following Red Sox first pitch, join us for Red Sox Game Day Live, presented by Uno's with TC, Peter, and Heidi at 6. The Sox welcome the Angels to Fenway for a 4-game set. Catherine and Gord preview Game 2 between the Bruins and Flyers. Plus, the Boston Globe's Nick Cafardo will have the latest news and notes from around the majors. Our coverage begins live from Yawkey Way with Monster Monday tomorrow at 5, and it's only on NESN. Well, Vermont Day here at Fenway Park, and an outstanding rendition from Rosie Newton. God Bless America. And Peter has informed me that I mispronounced the hometown of Rosie Newton.
St. Albans, that's okay.
What did I say? St. Albans?
Yeah,
that's
okay.
Not good. That's going to upset the people in St. Albans. Hello to all of you. I'm big fans. I'll have to get there.
If I weren't the great grandson of Ethan Allen, I wouldn't know that.
You're the great? How many greats? 2?
4.
4. Marco Scudero leading it off here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Felix Hernandez up over 100 pitches back out there for the 7th inning. This Vermont Day from Fenway Park. Population 625,741. 21st U.S. President Chester A. Arthur, born in Fairfield, Vermont. The red clover, the honeybee. And Carlton Fisk, and you can explain this. Carlton Fisk and Derek Barton from Vermont as Scudero pops it up to short. Louis Rodriguez shading his eyes, makes the catch. Now Carlton Fisk, you often hear about his ties to New Hampshire and everything else, but I always kind of wondered about the Vermont tie, and you explained it to me earlier.
Charlestown is on one side of the Connecticut River, and Bellows Falls is on the other. So the hospital's in Bellows Falls, so he was born in the hospital, but there were 3 or 4 generations of Fisks on the green there in Charlestown, New Hampshire. So he never considered himself Vermonter. I think the best modern Vermonter in the Red Sox uniform was Jack LeMabe.
Okay.
That name didn't roll off too many times.
No, I was going to say, where did Jack play?
He was a right-handed pitcher back in the early 60s, I do believe. Ended up a pitching coach in San Diego.
Carl Crawford to left, and it'll fall for a base hit. A one-out single for Carl Crawford. He had been 0 for 2 in the game.
For someone who's so used to getting on base a ton, one of the things that I've been wondering about, and he couldn't answer it, is has he lost his feel for base running? I mean, that's such a rhythm thing. I mean, it's very hard for guys just to go out and go steal a base like Dave Roberts or something like that. But when you're used to playing every day and you're hitting close to 300 all the time, I would think you would get out of rhythm.
Throw over to first base. Crawford back to the bag. Crawford with 4 stolen bases for the Red Sox this year. He's been caught twice. There's a pitch for a strike over the outside corner to Jared Saltalamacchia. He was 0 for 2 today. He's lined out to left and struck out. Daniel Bard up in the Red Sox pen. You've seen Wakefield, Jenks, and Albers already today. Just outside. Hernandez wanted it, 1-1. It's been a 10 strikeout day for Felix Hernandez. Throw over, and Crawford just gets back. He was kind of taking a step in the other direction when that throw came over. Had not reached his full lead over there at first base. Down and in, gets away from Olivo, and Crawford will get into scoring position. No break there as Crawford are going to try and steal second base, but instead a ball gets away and he can take second base. Wild pitch charge to Hernandez. Ball got away briefly in the return throw. Olivo sliding over, unable to trap it, and it quickly gets by him. 111 pitches right now for Felix Hernandez, and the shadows starting to make their way to the home plate area. Not a factor yet. Saltalamacchia to left. Langerhans will get there to make the catch for the second out of the 7th inning. Dunkin' Donuts is in its 13th year of hosting local youth groups and charitable organizations in the Dunkin' Dugout, special seating section at Fenway Park. Thousands of children have had the chance to catch a Red Sox home game thanks to Dunkin' Donuts. Action for the Mariners as Jamie Wright, right-hander, is up in the pen. We saw him in Game 1 on Friday night. There is Jacoby Ellsbury with 2 down and Carl Crawford in scoring position. Inside corner for strike 1. Ellsbury struck out in the first inning, singled and scored in the third, and then struck out again looking in the fifth inning.
It was a very hard curveball. He's showing a little bit more of an overhand spinning curveball. That was a very hard one.
On the ground right side, and it's the first baseman, Smoke, who goes to Hernandez for the out at first. That ends the inning. Red Sox strand Crawford in scoring position. Done with 7, tied at 2. Boston Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you in part by Eastern Bank. At Eastern Bank, we believe something as simple as your checking account shouldn't come with a lot of strings attached. Eastern Free Checking. See just how good a checking account can feel. Top half of the 8th inning back at Fenway Park. Ryan Langerhans, the lead it off for the Mariners. Matt Albers doing what he did a lot in a Baltimore Orioles uniform, and that's go multiple innings. Pitches the 7th inning, and he comes back out to start the 8th. Strike one to Langerhans. Felix Hernandez going the first 7 innings today. 10 strikeout performance against the Red Sox. So offense providing him 2 runs to tie this game up 2-2. Hernandez at 113 pitches today. And Jamie Wright getting ready, looks for the next inning. There's a 2-1 pitch to Ryan Langerhans. Late in the cut, 93 from Albers, and it's 2-2. Don't remember this kind of velocity from Albers as an Oriole, but he's displayed it pretty well.
Very good running fastball. He could terrific sink down in the strike zone today. That ball just looked like it ran a foot away from Langerhans.
Strike 3 call. Nice sequence there for Matt Albers. Langerhans strikes out for the first out of the 8th inning.
To his credit, he's moving. We had that at bat with Suzuki last inning when he kept going in, out, and then went back out again. And Ichiro had a very weak swing. I thought that was very impressive sequence, and I have to give Salta Lamacchia a lot of credit for that.
There's strike one to Miguel Olivo. He starts off ahead. Olivo grounded out in the 2nd inning, flied out in the 4th, singled and scored in the 6th inning. Wakefield plays him straight away. Just outside, off the outside edge at 94, and it's 1-1. There's Wright getting ready for the last half of the 8th inning, an inning that'll have Pedroia, Gonzalez, and Ortiz. There's a liner to left. Crawford back quickly to make the grab. Didn't have a lot of time, but he got back there and ends up running onto the dirt of the warning track to make the catch for out number 2. How quickly this gets out to Carl Crawford. A few steps and a duck back to reel it in. Matt Albers has retired all 5 Seattle Mariners he's faced since coming into the game, and now here's Justin Smoak. Fly ball to deep center field. Ellsbury heading back, turns and makes the catch on the base of the track. Matt Albers with 2 very good innings. We head to the bottom of the 8th, tied 2-2. With a spot start today, goes 5 2/3 and gave up just the 1 run as Bobby Jenks would allow an inherited runner to score that was charged to Wakefield, and Jenks had troubles of his own. This walk will bring in the tying run as the Mariners tie it up 2-2 in the 6th inning, and the game remains tied 2-2 into the bottom of the 8th inning. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by your New England Ford dealers. And Jamie Wright, the new pitcher for the Seattle Mariners after 7 innings from Felix Hernandez.
Well, in the absence of David Ardsma, they have Eric Wedge has reinvented this bullpen. Jamie Wright has done a great job as their 8th inning guy. Brandon League has got 7 saves, second in the league in saves in the closer spot. Wright's a great story. This is his 19th professional. If I'm not mistaken, he was the very first #1 pick of the Colorado Rockies after in their expansion year. He's been with 8 teams. He's been injured a number of times. Right now, since they brought him back in August of last year, he has thrown great. Well, he's what, 6'6", 6'7"?
Well, he takes over for Felix Hernandez, who went the first 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs. He walked 1 and struck out 10. 113 pitches and not part of the decision. As a pitch outside to Dustin Pedroia, leads it off here in the 8th. Pedroia 2 for 3 today. Single to right, single to left, and then last time up struck out swinging. In there for strike 1, 2-1. Jonathan Papelbon getting ready in the bullpen. Terry Francona will use him a lot in tie games. So even if the Red Sox don't take the lead in the 8th, you may see him in the 9th, especially at home. This is a one-hopper to short. Luis Rodriguez's throw to first is in time to get Pedroia the first out of the 8th.
Good enough stuff to get in on the hands of Pedroia.
Immediately following the game, stay with us for WB Mason Extra Innings Live with TC and Heidi. Get a breakdown of Tim Wakefield's first start of the year, including his take on today's performance. Plus, he'll have the manager's perspective in the From the Press Room segment. It's all coming up right after the game on WB Mason's Extra Innings Live. One out for Adrian Gonzalez. He is 1 for 3. Chops it on a couple of hops out to Jack Wilson, and there's 2 quick outs. In Boston, the game of baseball goes 24/7. So tomorrow morning, get your fix of Red Sox baseball with Dennis and Callahan. We'll break down the game and the season starting at 6 a.m. on the WEI Sports Radio Network and right here on NESN. Two down for David Ortiz. David struck out in the first inning, doubled in the 3rd inning to drive in a pair of runs, flied out to center in the 6th. In there for strike 1, 1-1. Jamie Wright has pitched for 8 teams in his major league career. Pitched in 43 different ballparks. Swing and a miss as Ortiz went around. Third base umpire Greg Gibson agrees. 1-2. So David down 1-2 with 2 outs in the inning. Base is empty. Breaking ball missing. 2-2.
The way David's been trying to hit the ball to left field and the way Wright's fastball runs down in the strike zone, they've sort of modified their shift here a little bit. No more shift. They got Rodriguez on the back of his normal position.
Jack Wilson a few strides on the outfield grass at second base. Shadows starting to become a factor as they creep closer to home plate. Payoff pitch to David Ortiz. Swing and a miss. Wright gets it by him and strikes him out. It's a 1-2-3 8th inning. We head for the 9th, tied 2-2. Head to the ninth inning, and it's time now for a look at the road ahead, brought to you by Safeco Insurance. Tomorrow, the Red Sox begin their second four-game series in 2 weeks with the Los Angeles Angels. Clay Buchholz will get the start, hoping to duplicate the success for Boston starters and they had in the four-game sweep in Anaheim. The four starters in the series allowed just 2 runs in 30 innings, good for a 0.60 ERA. Angels batters had just 14 hits off the 4 and struck out 28 times. NESN's coverage gets underway at 5 with Monster Monday live from Yawkey Way. Jonathan Papelbon into his 10th game in this tie game at home, a 1.93 earned run average. In save opportunities, he is 5 for 5, and both sitting at 206 against Papelbon. Tries to keep this a tie game into the bottom of the 9th inning. Takes over from Matt Albers, who did a good job. He retired everybody he faced, all 6 batters. Over his 2 innings, had 1 strikeout. It is Jack Cust who leads it off and takes ball 1. Cust has walked twice in the game and doubled, but he has been on base 3 times. Down the line at first and picked by Gonzalez. He'll take it to the bag himself for the first out of the 9th. That one seemed to change direction on Adrian as it was getting closer to him, but he goes to the backhand and makes the grab for out number 1 here in the 9th. You hear about all the hitting that Adrian Gonzalez did in San Diego, and we're starting to see a little bit about what people talk about, what a good fielder he is defensively.
Absolutely. Again, as he has great hands as a hitter, he has tremendous hands as a defender.
Luis Rodriguez hits a fly ball to right center. Ellsbury moves over and makes the catch, and there's 2 down in the 9th. Red Sox pitching has now retired 9 in a row. Coming up after the game today, it's Granite City Electric Red Sox final with TC and Heidi. Get the final word from Fenway and a preview of tomorrow's series opener with the Angels as the Sox continue their longest homestand of the season. Plus all the highlights from around the majors. It's all coming up right after the game, only on NESN. Brandon League, the closer, up for the Mariners in the pen. Saves in each of the first 2 games of this series. Here is Michael Saunders with 2 down in the 9th. There is strike 1. Saunders is fly to left, grounded out and line to left.
Papelbon seems to have gotten a lot more confidence in that slider. I still think it all feeds off his fastball location, but he started off with that backdoor slider there, and he just seems to have so much more confidence in it now.
Think back to a couple years ago where it seemed like it was fastball after fastball. He went away from the splitter. Slider was really not in his repertoire at the time, and it seemed that hitters at times could kind of key in on one pitch.
When you look early in his career, some of those strikeout walk numbers, they were incredible. The command he had, and he lost it.
It seemed last year there were a lot more base runners on, and he had to throw a lot more pitches in his outing. Got a lot of life in his fastball so far this season, too. And the command of it as he jumps ahead here, 1-2. Swing and a miss, blew it by him at 95. It's a 7-pitch, 1-2-3 ninth. On to the bottom of the ninth, 2-2 game. lesson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, Sullivan Tire, Jordan's Furniture, and by your New England Toyota dealers. Bottom of the 9th inning at Fenway Park. Game tied 2-2. Jamie Wright retired the side in order in the bottom of the 8th inning. And gets ready here to face J.D. Drew, Jed Lowry, and Marco Scutaro in the bottom of the 9th inning. Breaking ball for strike one. Drew today has walked and grounded out twice.
It's interesting. He started Drew off at a curveball. Maybe thinking, okay, comes up there looking first pitch fastball.
Wright got Pedroia to ground out, Adrian Gonzalez to ground out, and he struck out David Ortiz, handling 2, 3, and 4 very quickly. Drew's got good numbers against Jamie Wright in the past, 333 average. Swinging a foul off of Olivo, and that hurt.
That was a nasty cutter.
Down on the top of the foot. Low shin area. I want to remind you to follow the Red Sox with MLB.com at Bat 11 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit redsox.com for details. 1-2 to Drew in the dirt, and it is 2-2. Shadows have now made their way across the home plate area. And start to make their way out towards the mound. 2-2 is up and away, full count. Drew chops it to first base. Justin Smoke flipped to right, who's there at the bag for the out. Well, last year the Red Sox had one walk-off home run, and it was Jed Lowry who had it off Casey Janssen of the Toronto Blue Jays, August 21st. And here he is in the 9th inning against the Seattle Mariners with one out in a tie game, 2-2. And on a day that he does not have a hit, he struck out 3 times, and all of that was against Felix Hernandez. Curveball away, so he started Drew with a curveball, and he starts Lowry with a curveball. Strike one, 1-1. Lowry struck out on a pitch over the outside corner earlier he did not like. And that pitch grazing the corner this time as Marco Scutaro waits on deck. Lowry fouls it off.
Late on that. Just makes you wonder how much he saw it. Looked like he just didn't pick the pitch up.
You wonder about the shadows and the ball changing colors on the way in. A 1-2 pitch. On the ground foul outside at first. We'll do it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out in the 9th. Lowry fouls it off to left, out of play. Wright is retired. All 4 Red Sox he's faced since coming into the game. Pedroia, Gonzalez, Ortiz, and Drew. Now 1-2 to Lowry. In the air to right field for Lowry. Ichiro going back. He will not make the catch. He loses it in the sun. Lowry will head for third base as Ichiro guns it back in. Jed Lowry stands at third with 1 out. The sun field at Fenway Park, and Ichiro cannot see the ball as it glances off him and then into the right field corner.
Well, we've noticed how bad that sun is. We saw Dustin Pedroia struggle with it. We've seen a couple of other players struggle in the sun. That's almost unimaginable for Ichiro. Someone just sent me a text message now. Well, they all play indoors in Japan. But
he totally loses it. It hits his leg, and it is a triple is the call. And look at him looking up into the sunshine from right field, and he just lost it somewhere in between coming off the bat of Lowry and when it got out there. Now a chance for the Red Sox to win it. Infield in for the Mariners. Marco Scutaro 0 for 3 in the game. Scutaro chops it left side. It is Figgins who cuts in front and throws to first for the out. Almost a major mistake there on the left side in communication for the Mariners, as Rodriguez and Figgins come together, but it's Figgins who cuts it off and gets the big out. 2 down.
Well, this brings up the Terry Francona's dream. Carl Crawford gets a game-winning hit.
This would line up just great. He already has a base hit. Look at this. These two almost coming together. And that would have ended the game and have gotten through. Carl Willis, the pitching coach, coming out to talk to Wright.
Well, he may be asking him, would you rather pitch to Saltalamacchia than to Carl Crawford?
Well, immediately following the game, stay with us for WB Mason's Extra Innings Live with TC and Heidi. Get a breakdown of Tim Wakefield's first start of the season, including his take on today's performance. Plus, you'll have the manager's perspective in the From the Press Room segment. It's all coming up right after the game on WB Mason Extra Innings Live. Two outs in the 9th. Jed Lowry at third base, representing the winning run. They will pitch to Carl Crawford, who is 1 for 3 today. Crawford takes ball 1. He is 3 for 6 with a triple and a home run in his career against Jamie Wright. The 1-0 pitch. Crawford takes the strike, 1-1. Had a notion couldn't pull the trigger, and it was a called strike by Todd Titchener. 5 career walk-off hits for Carl Crawford. Crawford rips it back up the middle into center field. From third comes Lowry, and the Red Sox walk off with the win. Carl Crawford gets it done.
Well, that's the one perfect guy that the Red Sox would want to have do that.
The Red Sox maul Carl Crawford, who had a base hit earlier in the game, and a walk-off win. As the Red Sox win it 3-2 and salvage the final game of this series. And nobody happier than the manager, Terry Francona, who waits for Carl Crawford. He has worked so hard to get back on track and has got to feel extremely good about this.
Well, the really good camera work there to show it. If you're around Carl Crawford, you know how respected and beloved he is, old teammates, both in Tampa in his time there and here.
Well, the Red Sox win it 3-2. Papelbon ends up with the victory. Wright takes the loss, and here it was again, right back up the middle. And he left it out over the plate, and Wright almost made the play, but it gets through him, and once it did, no chance back up the middle, hit too sharply. Yeah.
Well, they had spread second baseman and shortstop so much. I figured they're going to throw him a lot of breaking balls because they had Jack Wilson so far over.
Well, Heidi Watney is down on the field with Carl Crawford right now. Heidi?
Carl, on that big video board right there, they're replaying your teammates mobbing you after that hit. With everything you've been through this season, how good does this moment feel right now?
Oh, it feels real good. You know, been struggling so much, so it feels good to do something nice, and especially to win the game.
You also got a hit off of Felix Hernandez, one of the few hits today. How good was he out there on the mound?
Well, he was real good. You know, he had his A game today, had all his pitches working, and he battled.
The team didn't get off to the greatest start this season, but have kind of turned things around of late. How important is this win here today?
Well, it's real important. You know, it's a new month. Everybody's feeling new, so we just wanted to start the month off on the right foot.
Do you think the 2 hits you got today is something that you can kind of turn the corner at the plate here?
Oh, I hope so. You know, I'm definitely going to use that as positive motivation. I'm going to try to go with it.
The Angels come to town tomorrow. You guys swept them in 4 games at their place. What do you need to do the next couple of nights here at Fenway?
Just come and play our game and, you know, have confidence, and hopefully we can beat them again.
All right, thanks, Carl.
All right, see you later.
Well, Carl Crawford, boy, that has got to feel good. I'm very happy for Carl Crawford to have that happen.
Well, it's important because he has been a streaky player in this way. When he gets hot, he's really tough. And we talked about the base running part of it. You get him on base, you get him hitting line drives, especially in the left center field, then start him to run. It changes so many elements of the game. And there's a very good reason that he got the contract he got.
Red Sox win it 3-2 here today and salvage the final game of the 3-game series. For Peter Gammons and Heidi Watney, I'm Don Orsillo saying good afternoon from Fenway Park. Join us again tomorrow night. The Red Sox open up a 4-game series with the Angels. Our live coverage begins on Yawkey Way at a special time, 5 o'clock. It's been a presentation of Nesson, New England's most watched sports network. It's time now for WB Mason's Extra Innings Live. Here's Tom Caron.